But another really important hot topic, which we'd like to focus now on, is this issue that happened with the Kuje prison. Because as YK said during the paper review, it's a burning issue. We discussed about it extensively yesterday. However, there are other angles that we're yet to really understand, and we'd like to maybe get our callers to call in to share their views, because that's what this is about. Express your views. The views are on the state policing issue, because Governor Akeredolu of Ondo State, he's saying and is using this Kuje prison experience to reiterate the need and importance for us to bring that state policing issue back on the front burner, especially because he acknowledges that the federal police needs help. They're understaffed. But there's still the argument that it's not that easy to initiate a state police, especially because they're not equal funds across states. So it's hard to do that. That's an argument. The second part of this Kuje's prison story is that our president, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, showed up at Kuje prison, however, immediately went straight to Dakar. And people are saying, I mean, the way Nima said it in the paper review, said, all the work we've been working on this Boko Haram in one day wiped out. And then you went to Senegal to go and do what exactly? All this fight against terrorism. To now cap it all up. We read the story about Abuja banning alcohol after 7 p.m. So we're thinking, is there a conspiracy? Is there an agenda? What is going on? So we'll break it in the various parts. Let's start with the state policing issue, YK. And I know you are against it because you have a few reservations, and I'd like us to bring that conversation up again. So what are your thoughts?
The reservations I have about state police is this, or these are the reservations I have. I know how the politicians work. First of all, I would have felt that before you do a state police, the police that you have, first sort that one out. The police are underpaid, understaffed. They have to buy their own uniforms. I was in a police station the other day when they got a call that they have to pay for the police to go to Ekiti for election. I have been with policemen who complain about their retirement fee, their retirement benefits. Yeah. So already your national police, your federal government police, you have not taken care of them. Yeah. Now, when you want to now start with another police, now I just want to give you a very small picture. During celebration, I always have shrine police of boys I give uniforms to just make sure that there are no fights. Now, I have entered inside the middle of where they are bullying customers because they feel that. So when you give a person a position of authority, what he does with that authority is questionable. Now, in America, they have the Americans that want to copy with state police. Forget about the size of America. They have problems with the police killing black people because of that power that they have. Here, we don't even have to wait for to give some small boys power now. They will start slapping everybody.
Okay.
So my position is, before you do that, make sure that you have everything in place. Even these police that you have now, you have not taken care of them. Okay. So they are extorting up and down.
Point taken. So we'll unpack that. Let me let you
yeah, on this. So I think when I first joined this show, I was also of the same, sentiments, which is I'm just afraid of how politicians may hijack state or community policing. But, times change. The level of insecurity in our country as of today calls for a different measure, and it's important because many times when these things happen, we hear, oh, we called on the soldiers, we called on the police, and it took them hours to get there, and no one could identify who these insurgents or bandits or kidnappers are, because the apparatus that has the authority to, secure that place, or the intelligence is not within that community. So they have to wait for people to bring them who most times have no idea about the terrain of that place. So just common sense for me feels that it is now time to empower community security, state policing. And it's just simple, because for me, anytime I want to do something, I just look at the pros and cons. What we have now has its pros, it has its cons. What we're talking about, community policing, state policing, has its pros and cons. And as for right now, the benefits of having community and state policing, you know, outshines whatever benefits it is that what the present structure gives us. Every time we talk about we have to, this is not a 5-minute thing, not a 10-minute thing, it's a 1-year thing or 2-year thing. If we had done this 1 year ago, we would have started seeing the benefits. We had done it 2 years ago. So it's time to just stop talking and just do what needs to be done. Yeah. We have a problem of intelligence gathering at community levels. We need the people who are affected by this to be part of ensuring that they keep the security.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
Because one of the problems we have with the Nigerian police is that they will take somebody who has no idea of what is happening. They will take him from Kano and they will bring him to Lagos.
Yes. Yes.
He has no idea of the terrain.
Yes.
So already the way they are even doing their structure inside the Nigerian police is wrong.
Yes.
Why are you taking people who are from Kano who have no idea of the terrain? So why don't you keep the policemen who are from here?
Well, recruited from Lagos, for instance.
They are recruited. Keep them in Lagos. Why are you sending a Lagos policeman to Kano? What does it mean about Kano?
Those are the negatives of this current structure.
But it can be corrected, that's what
So I'm saying that should be corrected in the state police.
No, it can be
community police.
I'm saying, why don't you correct this one first?
We have less than 500,000 police across the country. Now, people have argued that, okay, if you cannot afford state police, let's do regional. So instead, like Lagos State might be able to have money, because right now when they were able to get them cars, the equipment, ammunition, all sorts of things. Now you can do that across the Southwest. You can support with other governors. Same thing with Southwest and all the 6 geopolitical zones. The American that you're talking about, aside from state police, they still have the municipal police.
Yes.
They're lower level.
Yeah.
So you see on their cars, oh, Florida County something, or something, New Jersey County. You know, they're different levels. So that one, they're loyal to the sheriffs report to the mayor. You in Lagos, within Koshofe, you have a local government chairman who is almost ineffective. So we're saying the state police, not just Lagos State Government Police, we're saying you have at the local levels, where I have 20 patrols within Koshofe that they are reporting to the local government chairman. So all these, your NN, whatever, the Lagos State Neighborhood Watch, equip them. We need something that is done in the Constitution where we know they can be equipped. So look, the local government chairman has preside and can supervise these 20 vehicles that are going around Koshofe. That's how you say security is local. So it's not about the state police, because people still think it's state. State can have their own apparatus, but the individual local government too. Because the security is local. So you can't do that from the center, YK. Because this structure right now, YK, let me remind you of what happened in Magodo. The fact that they needed to get authority. The governor was speaking to a police officer. He was saying, talk to my above. It doesn't make any sense in 2022.
Exactly.
Let me try and come in here. So I'm not against state policing, but let's put the issues on the table. God forbid that we're just cloning this federal problem.
What if we're not?
No.
What if we're not? There's two sides of it.
Finish. So we have the issue of deployment now, which I raised earlier. We also have the possibility of a clash of authority when we retain the federal system alongside the state system. If, for instance, there's an interstate arrest, one state will be saying it's our case. The federal will now come in like they used to do in the Igbo movie and say the FBI is here. There will be a clash. And there's a possibility of a Wadume kind of escape if we don't have it nipped in the bud. There's also the possibility of authority abuse. Our governor, you know, this by team, the police start to favor the politics. You know, politics is local here. And so in every state, you have you know who determines what. And that police in that system will first of all serve the elites before they reach the common man. Does it mean that immediately we put the state police in together and we do not change the system from federal, we've not changed and looked at our security different, they will not come and start to clone the system?
Niman, this argument, I have heard it a trillion times over and again. You see, there are times you have those, I don't want to mention names of governors who can be dominating. Yeah, there are those ones. That's the governor you have. But there are some you have governors who actually came to work. Who actually is working in the interest of their people. And it might work in that situation. Nobody knows. But this argument of they will take over they will be loyal to the governor. We've been hearing it for years. But I would rather that. I would rather change that.
Where did Governor Wike find the team gun-wielding team that escorted him to go and free this woman that was former boss of, was it the NCD? No, the lady.
I know the person.
That was going to be arrested by a federal team. And there was a confrontation. Yeah. Where did he find those people? So imagine he had the authority of a state-enabled police with guns.
We will work within... Okay, so there's abuse everywhere. Right now, everywhere. The present structure, there's also abuse.
The black Americans are killing is abuse.
The thing is, we're going to have, I mean, if you're going to set something like this up, definitely there has to be like constitutional backing. The law, policies will be laid out on how it should be done. And the abuse of that, the policy, you will find punishment. So we have that problem in Nigeria where we don't punish people who have done things in the political sphere. But if we're just looking at it ideally, this structure that we're talking about, there's no structure anywhere in the world that it's 100% perfect. There will be flaws. But what I'm saying that today, the person in a local government that has had something happen to them, or bandits have just attacked their village, they'll rather have a close security apparatus that they can, you know, that would respond to them than for them to wait for federal government to come and answer them. That's one. And he's not really bothered about the relationship between the governor and the police at that time. You see this conversation about governor and police, we already have them, but that is not the pressing issue right now. Yes. The pressing issue is that we need very close proximity, security at close proximity to where the incidents happen.
Yes. Let me go on a break. We'll come back to this conversation. Stay with us. Right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we'll be discussing the issue of state policing, which I want to round up because I really want us to link it to our president who had to travel to Dakar after this happened. Mike, you're going to say something?
Yes, I was going to say to Miriam, you see, when we are talking about state police in Nigeria, I get a bit anxious when we talk about America. Because when I look at the size of America, one state in America is the size of Nigeria. One state. Then we want to be comparing because America needs state police because it's a huge country. My point is, the police that we have not managed that one. No.
Manage it.
Don't say we will manage it.
It will be easier. Okay.
Don't say, because that's what in Nigeria we always say, when we reach that, we will cross that bridge when we reach it. No. We don't ever cross the bridge. We always stay at the other side of the bridge and we hard there. We get stuck.
We hard there.
We get stuck. Let me finish. We get stuck there because we are not thinking. We are not thinking to structure. The police that you have no structure that
way. The problem, see what you're saying. Wait, you've made your point now.
I've not made my point. I've not made my point. They are not paid well. They cannot buy their own uniforms. They don't have pension. Now you give them guns. Come on, in Punch yesterday, the LNC, what is LNC? The neighborhood watch guy blinded somebody. That's power drunkenness because he has the power to beat. He now beats. Now you want to give people who you are not trained well.
Okay. Let me use an analogy. Let me use an analogy for YK.
Let me take this tweet, ladies. Okay. So when I can break it like that, Nigeria is not educated, systemic, and structured for state police. Okay. We need to fix a lot of process before that state police. Let the local government and the judiciary be independent first. Before you talk local policing, there's so many issues to address.
Okay, good. So that's the conversation exactly. When we're talking about state policing, community policing, we're not just saying right now stop it. We're saying that there is a process to set up anything, and these will. No. You made an example. You said this is not something that will take 5 minutes. I was responding to you. You said this is not something that will take 5 minutes. Something that will take a year or 2 years. And then listen. And then I said this 1 year and 2 years. We have mentioned it 1 year and 2 years ago. If we had started, we would have done it 1 year, 2 years later by now. That was what I was saying. Now, secondly, when I'm talking about state policing, community policing, I'm not just saying just recruit random people on the streets right now. I'm saying follow the process, which may take a year or two of setting it properly, because we will keep just talking and complaining about something that could have been done a year, 2 years, or 3 years ago. Now, the third one, you talk about America and geographically why they need state policing. Geographically, they may need that because they are it's such a large expanse.
Yeah.
But situationally, or whatever it is happening in our country right now, we need it more than anyone.
Yeah.
Because the problems concerning the banditry, kidnapping, insurgency, terrorism that's happening in our communities, we hear always is a lack of local intelligence.
Simple.
So that's what we're asking.
It is because you are too young to know that the military government killed the Nigerian police.
Yes, that's a fact.
The military government killed, I will repeat it again so you can understand.
Yes.
Listen,
Our population was different then, Why?
No,
It's a different. It's a whole
we will
different.
not keep saying in the past. We must forge ahead.
Listen,
We must forge ahead.
Wait.
if they had not killed the Nigerian police, if the military, because if they had military police, they would not be having coups after coups. So police must not work.
Okay,
listen, the police did not work.
No, you've not allowed me to talk since.
You
made your point already. We are clear.
So I'm saying that you say the population then. The population then is not the point, because if you had a good police force in the beginning, it would have grown with your population. Yes. You have 300,000 police to 200 million people. Come on.
Okay, now let me respond. Let me respond to you. The problem we have with the police.
Then you don't pay their well. So nobody wants to be police. Who wants to be? Do you want your children to be police?
The point I'm trying to make, Waiki.
To be collecting 30,000.
The police commission right now. Everybody
then
here.
They will kill him. No pension. Talk, John.
Okay, so let us imagine this is the police pot. This cup is the pot. Everything concerning the budget, everything the police need is here. One man. One group of people are determining it. They send the crew to you, to your state. They send everything. Everything you need comes here. The problem with the police is that everything comes to this commission to decide their welfare, their salaries, their pensions that you talked about. We're saying decentralize it. This is too much a burden for this group. Let you have your own. You take a Lagos State was a good. They put together a police trust fund. They had a fund. They bought them cars. They had helicopters, for heaven's sakes, in the Lagos State. RRS was created. Why? Because somebody said, okay, from the budget you're giving to me and private sector give me money, I will equip my own. We're saying, let us do that across regions. Maybe no state cannot afford it, but let's do it across regions. This center person determining to buy sharpener in Lagos State cannot continue to work. Akeredolu is screaming, I cannot continue to go to Abuja because I want to buy water in police station. You have to decentralize it. So we're saying that what you're saying cannot work anymore. Break it down. But we're saying, out of fear of they will take advantage. Let them even take advantage first.
Already taking advantage of
as we are right now, Rotimi is on the loose. But we don't have intelligence. Why? Because we have an ineffective police system. It's left.
They have systematically destroyed the police.
So when are we going to build again now? Are we going to now stay broke?
Yeah, Nima, let me come to you.
What is Akeredolu doing with his security vote? No, one question. Because you know when we are talking, let's see us talk with our mouth and put our money.
Yes. What is he doing with the... That's the conversations of it. Yes.
And the other one that said they should give a gun license the other day.
Matawali.
Moral, the truth
We're
is...
listening.
How much authority does the Constitution give them? How much authority does the Constitution give them? So I give you security money to give you the security vote.
Security votes.
Yes.
Even the last administration.
Yes.
Empower the police system within their states.
Yes.
Their security votes. I want to say it here because I've not said this. I wanted to watch this thing for 2 weeks. I sat on this show and asked the governor, if you cannot clear the trucks on the Badagry Expressway, can you police it? Every morning at 5 a.m. when I leave the house, there's a patrol van. And police officers, only this morning, did they not wait at the exit of my community? So let's say the truth, though. When these people come out to talk, the police stay in their states. Let's first of all promote
the ineffective the man that is collecting 20 naira. The man that is collecting 20 naira that is ineffective in the truck. Where your truck stop? There's an ineffective policeman, right? Collecting 20 naira. That's not doing his job. Why? Because his welfare is not well taken care of. Why? Because federal government is what is going to determine what he's going to eat. I'm telling you that the reason why he's ineffective on your own neighborhood is because the people who have the power to equip him are not doing their job.
Let land this point. Let any government... See, I'm not... On this issue of state policy, I'm really totally not on any side. I'm indifferent. I'm just reasoning with you. Let me say that if any governor within a state decides to start a funding for their welfare, insurance for any police officers and tell the police officers for every of this crime you nip in the bud, even though you're deployed from federal, you get awards. They were giving award to the one that is on trial now.
They will give you a award today. They will transfer you tomorrow. Today they will give you a award. Mr. John did tell you. Tomorrow they will transfer you. You will be. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Say on how they are deployed to their states. Wait, YK. You think governors don't have a say?
We're just
the same person has headed the task force and now heading what's the other team now in Lagos State. Do you think governors don't have a say on how they retain their best hands?
Let me take this call.
Let's not talk like that.
Let me take this call. Good morning, Professor Odewumi. Good morning, sir. Thanks for joining the conversation.
You have no iron detail.
Hello, sir.
The police.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead, sir.
I have 2 points.
Yes, sir.
On the state police, I will tell everybody that is listening that where we are now, security is the biggest existential threat to the economy, to our lives.
Yes.
And we have to do things differently. We cannot continue to be looking at the problem of state police and refuse to do anything. All the inadequacies that are mentioned for state police are also there for the federal police. Therefore, then they cannot say they don't have enough money. The first job of government is to protect life and property. If they have money for education, they have money for health, they must have money to protect our lives. Because what use is your education when you are not secure, when you are being picked like chickens?
Yeah.
So it is time to think outside the box. State police is number 1 now. But if there is a process, there must be also empowerment. The state police require constitutional amendment.
Exactly.
But when you amend the law that we empower Akeredolu and the governor to buy AK-47 for
Simple.
their
Absolutely.
Exactly.
it will solve that problem on the
God bless you.
immediate.
She's solving the problem. Thank you, Professor Odewumi. Let me take this message. It says, please ask Nima and Kuti and YK. Is federal government not abusing the police right now? Remember Obasanjo during his time at Anambra and Bayelsa over the governors. Wait, the present Attorney General that brought police to come to enforce under Imagodo in Lagos State recently, a job meant for the Lagos State court to do. Are you aware that the DPO in a police station doesn't get more than 30,000 naira in a month to operate a station? How does that make any sense? And that's federal. That's federal. So it's faulty.
Wait. You people are hearing, you are hearing here and it's coming out here. You're not hearing me. I said they have systematically killed the police so that they are not effective.
We agree.
Listen,
We agree.
So that when the military was doing coups, they were doing their coups. Police could not, because police...
We agree.
Military didn't have any...
So we need a constitutional review. So we need you're right, YK. You're right. I'm agreeing with you. You're right. So we need a constitutional review to empower the states to take their policing into their own hands.
Well, can I say that
Yes, please.
state policing and the call for it has been a distraction? While we are busy debating it, crimes continue to grow.
Exactly.
Governors know that aside the federal government's salaries that police officers earn within their state, they can do better with their state police, their security votes. Now, on every cabinet meeting, and I mean governors and their ministers, the commissioner of police will be at that meeting. If they deploy a commissioner of police to your state, you can do better. You can sit down and say, this is how I want him manned. What are your problems? How many buses do you need? And the truth is, aside them being able to buy the vans and all of that, they can buy the guns. Amosun, as governor at the time, carried guns. I want to Google it. I remember this story, but I cannot remember date and time. Where he handed it over. The commissioner of police within the state helped him.
Handed it over to the police. That's what I'm saying. Constitutional, a constitution. No, listen, Nima. Let me use your example. Nima. Let me use your example. Let me use. No, wait. Let me use that example. Let me use that Nima's example, right? So the governor bought ammunition, right, to equip the police, right? Yeah. So all of us. Wait. So he handed it over to the police. Wait now. He handed it over to the police, which he is not constitutionally allowed to superintend over, right? Now, he had to hang it there. So now, as the governor handed it to the police, this commissioner handed it over. They transfer him tomorrow. Yeah? They bring another commissioner of police. They say, we had 20 guns that we bought. What happened to it? Because something happens. They don't have control. Constitutionally, he can only use his security vote to support. I'm telling you that the system right now is ineffective, Nima. We cannot continue with this system.
I want to give you an information without talking more, without being able to name names. A governor concerned about security in the state has the right to summon not just the commissioner of police within the state, the DSS. officer heading his state is constantly, weekly meeting on what to do and how to respond to state security in his state. When that is not effective, you can then come and say you're calling for state police.
Well, and I guess that's why Zamfara is calling for state policing.
Until you're not, that means you're not relying on the information.
Let me bring in our guest. Let me bring in our guest. Let me pause you. Let me pause you for a second. Let me bring in our guest. Maybe he can join this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.